Is your child struggling with writing coherently? When a topic is given in school, your child goes blank, or he or she is able to write not more than one or two sentences, and you're wondering how to help your child. Hi, I'm Supriya Raja and I am the founder of Power Reading Hub. I equip children struggling with reading, writing, spelling to improve their literacy skills. Coming back to this topic, let's first look at the reason why children struggle with writing long form answers or compositions or even essays. Number one is writing is not just one skill. It has the components of many skills, such as your child should be able to write in proper sentences, your child should be able to come up with ideas and be able to put those ideas onto paper. Then the child should also pay attention to punctuation, capitalization, grammar and spelling. So many components are required for the child to be able to put across a successful composition or an essay. The second reason a child is struggling with writing compositions is that the child has a problem with language. That is, he or she can only express in vernacular or can express in the mother tongue, but has a problem expressing in English. So that's another reason why a child will struggle with composition writing. Number three is he or she is not an avid reader. Now you might be wondering why reading is required here when I'm talking about writing. In fact, reading and writing both are interconnected, because a child who reads more will have a lot of ideas to write, will be able to have better critical thinking and analytical thinking ability. A child who is an avid reader would also have better spellings and sentence constructions, which are required for a successful writing. Another important reason that children struggle with writing, or your child is probably struggling in writing long form answers, is your child's working memory may be poor. Now, what is a working memory? Working memory is the ability of the child to be able to remember ideas or remember instructions and to put it immediately into practice or into tasks. An example of a good working memory is the child is remembering to put the book into the bag while packing the bags, or remembering to put the pencil or the scale into the bag before leaving for school. So if this working memory is poor, the child will forget to put the requisite things into the bag. Now this working memory also is important while writing compositions. Now let's look at what are the signs that as parents you need to watch out for to determine whether your child has a problem with writing or is struggling with writing compositions. Number one is when a topic is given either in school or even in practice, when you're giving a topic to your child at home, your child is barely able to write more than one sentence or two sentences. Your child is not able to come up with more ideas in writing. Number two is your child may be able to express himself or herself in spoken, that is orally. The child can talk for a long time on the topic, but when it comes to putting the same ideas onto paper, the child struggles to put it independently and requires guidance. The next sign to watch out for is the child is making a lot of errors when it comes to spellings, when it comes to capitalization, punctuation, putting gaps between words. The child doesn't even put the gaps between words, and you will have to insist or remind the child to be able to put the one finger spacing between words. So these are some of the some of the reasons why a child will be struggling, some of the signs that you will have to watch out for the child having a problem with composition writing. Another important sign to watch out is that the child is refusing to write. The child says, I hate to write, I don't want to write. I can say the answers orally, I can say the whatever I have talked about the topic orally, but I don't want to put it into writing. Because the child is already struggling, the child is frustrated and hence avoids writing long form answers. Now, how do you encourage a child to write long form answers or composition writing? Because these are mandatory skills required, especially in middle school and high school. So what could you do as a parent? Number one is start where the child is. That is, if the child is comfortable writing just one sentence, it's okay consider encouraging the child even to write that one sentence. It's fine. Slowly build up on that. So today the child is writing one sentence, maybe after a week, encourage the child to write 2 sentences on the topic. Then slowly build up to 3, to 5, to 10. Slowly the child develops confidence to be able to write long form answers, composition, or even essays. Next, how you can help your child is teach a child the structure of a composition or an essay, which usually includes an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, and how to write an introduction, body, and conclusion. Third strategy you can adopt is actually asking questions to the child on that topic. Like suppose the topic is a visit to the beach and your child doesn't know what to write. So you can then tell your child, okay, when did you visit the beach? The child will come up with a 1 sentence answer. Ask the child to put that into paper. The next is, with whom did you go there? How did you go there? So using these kind of questions, the child will come up with the answers. You can ask the child to then pen it down onto the paper. So question answers could also be another method to help the child to build up on the writing skills. Another important thing that you need to really encourage is encourage the child to practice writing and also practice reading. Because if the child is encouraged to read consistently, even if it's for 5 minutes every day, even the writing will improve. Now you will ask how. Like I said earlier, reading multitude of books, different genre of books, whether it's fiction, whether it's a small story, whether it's a blog, whether it's even newspaper reading, or whether it's fiction, whatever it is, it helps a child to come up with ideas, to also build up opinions on topics, to think critically, to think analytically. So reading helps a child to also put across their opinions, put across the ideas that they came while reading into the paper. Reading also builds a child's grammar, sentence construction, and also helps a child to think on how to frame sentences, to pay attention to punctuation, to pay attention to capitalization, to pay attention to gaps between words. These are the simple but very crucial pointers that they need to be paying attention while writing. So reading also helps the child to become better at writing. And most importantly is help the child to actually appreciate the child whenever they are making this effort. It's not about the end result so much so as the effort they make on a day-to-day level. So if you find this particular live useful, I would suggest practice all that I've given in the pointers as pointers in this live. And if you feel that your child needs a little more of hand holding and you need an expert to help your child in improving their overall literacy skills of reading fluency, spelling, comprehension, sentence construction, composition writing, essay writing skills, consider connecting with me over a call. I'll be putting the link below to a Google form. Fill up the Google form to come on a call with me. And I will help you to devise a strategy on how we can help from Power Reading Hub, how we can help your child become better in their skills and eventually do much better even in their school performance and become confident readers and writers. Until my next live, happy day, happy parenting. Bye-bye.